Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today you were tuning in for a Word for Wednesday, where every week we just set aside everything and grow in our relationship with the Lord together. And today I sent out on my Instagram, a few days ago, and I was gonna do a Q&A, but a couple of the questions were biblical based, and so I just thought that I would also tie that around my Word for Wednesday, but then also, aside from that, answer a few different questions that I also got. So the first question that I got that I'm going to go ahead and go off is, what is my favorite Bible passage? And that is Philippians 4:8. This has been one that's always, like, anytime I'm really anxious and worried and it's really in my head, it always pops up everywhere. I don't know if I'm just more aware or if I'm actually, or if it's, I know that it's God making me aware, but and I'm gonna read it out loud and then just kind of soak through it. It says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." And then in verse 9, it goes on to say, "What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." And so, starting off, just 8 and 9, like, it's 8 is kind of like the cake, and then 9 is kind of like the icing on it. And what I love about this is it's giving you a base of what to think about whenever you are anxious and worried and stressed out. And those things are whatever is true, honorable, just. It's true. Like, think about what is true. Think about the things that you know to be true instead of the things that you're thinking of that may or may not be true. Because I know for me, that is the number one thing that makes me stressed out and worried, because I'm thinking about the unknown rather than focusing and putting into practice into things that I already know to be true of what God has told me, rather than listening closer to what Satan is saying that probably isn't true. And then it says, whatever is lovely and commendable, and whatever is excellent and worthy of praise. So, pure and lovely and commendable. Those, thinking about the things that are from the Lord, which anything from the Lord is going to be lovely, and anything that He's created is going to be lovely. And thinking about the things that are worthy of praise, ultimately God is the one who is worthy of praise. When we're thinking about Him, that is ultimately going to give us the peace and the satisfaction that we're searching for the relief of just the the stress isn't going to completely go away, because we are constantly being reminded and being fighting against the ways of the world and the way that it's broken, and the enemy's still around us. But just knowing that we have that sense of, like, okay, we have this strong God who is going to be constantly fighting for our peace and for our satisfaction in Him. And then in verse 9 it says, "What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." So I went ahead and, like, talked about that before, of practicing these things, practice these things. So, like, we kind of did, like, an observation, but then I also, like, right after that, went ahead and went in, and I didn't even say that I was going into application. But when you're practicing these things, you're focusing on whatever is true and honorable, and you're practicing that and thinking about that every single time you feel stressed out, and the God of peace will be with you. Like, it's really simple. It's hard when you're in the midst of it, because for me, like, going into application, like, thinking about whatever I would do, I'm a fixer, and I like to fix things, and I like to figure things out. And so whenever I'm practicing on figuring things out, that is where my stress and anxiety and all that comes in. But I really just need to God has been teaching me this so much this year, and I'm not saying this out of a bragging way, but I feel like God has I am so much different than I was at the beginning of the year with that, and that is I'm giving all of that glory to God. But just realizing that, number one, you're not in control. I have control issues, so I've been practicing, and God's been helping me through my control issues. But also knowing that, like, having an understanding that you're not a victim to the thoughts and to the anger and to what other people have said or done or upset you or disappointed you, that you're not a victim to that. Like, anything they have done, that has nothing on you. It's just up to you how you respond to it. And like, if we were having coffee or something like that, I would be like, yeah, you have every right to be upset because they really did hurt you. But just practicing that, like, nope, what they have has nothing on me. I'm walking in my personal walk, and they're over there, and that's up to them what they do. But it's up to you what you do. And I'm not saying like going to them and like telling them off, like, you hurt me and all of that, but also just for your mental state and your well-being and and like how you are carrying yourself. Because like when that anger and all that is inside of you, like, it might not come out to them, but it might come out to somebody else, or it might not come out to anybody, but it's still doing damage to yourself. So just keep that in mind and just practice the pure and honorable and lovely. Think about all of those things, and it does help. It really does. It doesn't completely cure it, but in time it makes you a much stronger person. And so another question that I got was any prayer life advice, and what immediately came to mind as soon as I was thinking about that was accepting where you are right now, like in how you pray and how you talk, or how your conversations are with God. Like, no matter how they are, God loves that and God accepts that. And it's hard to, especially for me, like, it's hard to accept where I am, but knowing that God already accepts me for where I am and how and where we are in our relationship definitely makes me want to accept where I am a little bit more. Wherever you are, if you can just like get away for a few minutes. I know I'm an introvert, so like I'm always kind of finding a way just to kind of get away for a few minutes, using that time to talk to God and to pray. And so your prayer life can look, it doesn't have to look one specific way, because it's really hard to like, it's really hard in that whole comparison game of like, this person on Instagram on their story like looks like they have such it all together in their prayer life, and like that's theirs, and that's fitting into what they love and what their schedule is. Basically, everybody's schedules look different and everybody's lives look different, and so you're finding where you can incorporate it into how you live and what you love to do. I really hope that this helps. The first part was kind of more on just like the prayer life, but this is just also just incorporating it and like not just talking to God, but how you worship and how you live your life and all of that. But I'm kind of rambling now. So those are the two faith-related questions that I got, and I really hope that they helped you and encouraged you. My prayer is always that my words are not my own, but they are from the Lord. And so Philippians 4, once again, Philippians 4:8, the whole chapter is really good. I really, I'm not going to say if you have time today. I challenge you to make time today. I know that you do have time today, because most of my followers are people my age, and so I know that you have time. And so now I'm going to go into a couple other questions that I got, and one of them was, do I play any instruments? And I play piano, I use my vocal instrument. I sing. And then like I can play guitar, but I'm not like I'm not to where I could like really play. Like I play with a capo right now, where I only have to use a couple fingers instead of like all 4 fingers, and it's really challenging. Like for the piano, like I hear a song in the car that I've never heard before, and I get inside and I'm just like I just know what to do. But for guitar, it's really challenging. Like I guess that's because I am musically inclined. That's why it frustrates me so much, because I can't just like get it like I do piano. And then I've played, my dad started to teach me bass. So like I kind of know what to do, but that was a couple years ago. But music's definitely where my main point is. So I really like this question. I really do. And then another question was, how long can Jello stick on the ceiling? And so I saw this question before. I do have a story. This isn't Jello, it was slime, but like it's kind of the same thing. When I was in kindergarten, I had this glow-in-the-dark slime that I got from Learning Express, and I was so excited about it, and I was throwing it up in the air in my room, and I threw it up and it got stuck on the ceiling. And like, I mean, it came down after a while, or we got up there and like got it down, but there's a huge like bit of it that just stayed there. And every night it would glow. And it was so, and that stayed there until we moved, until we like got it like professionally taken down or something. But so that was like 6 years. As long as it dries and it gets kind of crispy, I mean, it's there to stay. So thank you guys for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, so that you don't miss out on a video, and especially a Word for Wednesday, where we can just grow our family and grow in our relationship with the Lord as well. One little quick note that I want to make: I use a journaling Bible. If you're new here and I use the ESV, and I love mine, and I'll link one down below. But like, this is the notes that I took on, and I just love mine, and I draw like little pictures in it. I'm not like a huge like fill up a whole page of art, but I'm trying to find one. But like, you know, just like little pictures like that. Like, shout to the Lord all the earth. And just like a little earth or something like that. That's that. Once again, my name is Ava, and I will see y'all next time in the next video. Bye guys.